back from a scheduled break, but I am back in the studio. Been a rough couple of days. The latest job that we are on at the company I'm working at, we are going in at 5 a.m. And I normally try doing these in the morning, or I try to get them done at night. But Wednesday night we had church service, and I was just tired. I was under the impression I'd probably go in a little later to work. That didn't happen. I had to go in early. So Thursday, just to explain why I'm a day behind. I say a day behind. I'm talking about current news stories, but I just we had a lot going on, and I couldn't make it into the studio. As I said on Twitter and on Facebook and on YouTube, when I went ahead and wrote a post about it, thank you for your understanding, and I am sorry for the inconvenience. I know a lot of y'all listen to this show. Y'all like the weekly, the daily updates, and look, I love being here. I love being here. Just sometimes my time, I can't make it, but guess what? I'm here today, and we got a juicy story. I thought the story I was going to bring yesterday was juicy, but this is just juicy. First off, I want to remind you, the audience, of something. Do you remember when the raid on Mar-a-Lago happened and they found classified documents in President Trump's home? And the media went on the attack, and the left went on the attack. This is wrong that a former president, who was the prior president, who could have classified documents, this was wrong that a private citizen have these documents. And the story was that Donald Trump was non-cooperative. Donald Trump was not working with the National Archives. And in reality, there's records that show some FBI agents went over there, and Donald Trump showed them the documents. They asked him, hey, can you put a lock on it? And he complied. They had a lock on the door. Donald Trump was willing to work with the National Archives. Then all of a sudden, the FBI claims that they heard that Donald Trump was trying to get rid of some evidence, and they rushed over to Mar-a-Lago and raided a former president's home. And the media was like, oh, this is wrong. This is I can't believe, who could have seen these documents? He could have shared these documents with people, and it could have compromised national security. Even then, President Joe Biden said it was wrong for any politician to have classified documents after they were out of office. It was inappropriate, if I remember correctly. It was just inappropriate that a former president would have top secret documents that should have went to the National Archives. Well, not soon after that, we get a report that Joe Biden had classified documents at his home. They were at the Penn Center. They found them in a box, which led to them looking into his home. There was a video of him driving off in his Corvette, and it was in his garage. Now, this led to a special counsel, Robert Hur. He went ahead and led the investigation. He is a Republican. He was appointed by Trump. He was an U.S. attorney that was appointed by Trump. And Merrick Garland went ahead and gave a special report. Now, I've come on this program multiple times, and I have said it's funny how Robert Hur only had the bare minimum necessities, and he could only look at the documents. He could not look abroad. He could not look at the business dealings of Joe Biden. His scope was so small, while Jack Smith ranged from miles and miles. Jack Smith had unlimited spending capital. He could do whatever he wanted. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Smith had so much more resources than Robert Hur. And I remember coming on this podcast when we had the hour segments. I said, do you know who Robert Hur is? If I would go on the street and ask somebody that, they probably would not know. If I mentioned Jack Smith, they would know. Why? Because the media, it was plastering Jack Smith all over the news cycles. Now, Jack Smith has charged Donald Trump with the indictment on Mar-a-Lago. It was warranted criminal because Donald Trump had documents, and it could have been shared by people, and it could have been compromised. And Donald Trump maybe shared it with some people in a room where they had somebody filming a camera. It was warranted for a criminal investigation. We know, I believe, most of this is done for political purpose, and what happened yesterday proves that. Why? Because special counsel Robert Hur released his findings to Merrick Garland, and it was the final report. And the special counsel for this Biden classified documents went ahead and said that Biden willfully, and I want to read the quote, our investigation uncovered evidence that President Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified material after vice president when he was a private citizen. The report continues. Those materials include marked classified documents about military and foreign policy in Afghanistan, and 2, a notebook containing Mr. Biden's handwritten entries about issues of national security and foreign policies, implementing sensitive intelligence sources and methods. FBI agents recovered these materials from the garage, office, and basement den in Mr. Biden's Wilmington home. The report said that marked classified documents about Afghanistan, which included classified markings up to the top secret to sensitive compromise information levels, were found in Biden's garage in Delaware. Notebook containing classified information were discovered in the basement of Biden's Delaware home. Some classified documents that were found at the Ben Penn Center were intelligence assessments on Iran and were related to the Obama administration Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, otherwise known as the Iran nuclear deal. Classified documents were also found at the University of Delaware, where Biden was storing his records from his time in the U.S. Senate that appeared to be related to Europe in the time on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Now, let's talk about this standard. If Donald Trump had classified documents, which he did in Mar-a-Lago, and got charged for it, Joe Biden should get charged. It has been proven that Joe Biden, through a special counsel, had these documents. Now, the White House is in a frenzy. And we're going to talk about his last-minute press conference where he denied half of this. He said he was glad it was closed, but half of this was garbage, and we're going to get into that. But now we have to ask the question, well, look, they found documents. Will the sitting president of the United States have criminal charges against him? No. This was also in the report at the beginning of the summary. We conclude that no criminal charges are warranted in this matter. The report exclusive summary began. We would reach the same conclusion even if Department of Justice policy did not foreclose criminal charges against a sitting president. So if he wasn't the sitting president, that's one thing. He wouldn't be charged, they said. He still wouldn't be charged because this is not warranted. Why? Oh, well, he cooperated with, because they mentioned this, and Biden in his speech last night made sure to quote this out, that he compared Donald Trump and Joe Biden's differences in this report, how Donald Trump did not work with the FBI. He did not cooperate, which we know that's false. That according to Fox News and others, Donald Trump did work with FBI and was trying to get them their documents. He said, come get them anytime, and they chose to raid his home. Everything, I've said this in a podcast in the past, that everything that Donald Trump has done, Joe Biden has done. But what's the difference? Two-total justice system. Oh, Isaac, this is a Republican investigator. Yes, but now this is what I'm going to say with this. They were like, oh, Republican, he found that there was no warrant. I wish the Republicans were the Democrats were that understanding. Think about it, okay? A Republican that did right said, look, he had classified documents, but we don't think it's warrant for Now, he did say some things in this that threw Biden under the bus. I agree with that. Was that political? I don't know. But at least this Republican investigator that probably did not like Joe Biden said, you know what? This isn't warrant for criminal charges. Now the media is, oh, look, a Republican didn't even charge him. Yeah, because Republicans, majority of the time, don't do things on political feelings. They do things on facts. And if he's looking on facts, well, guess what? He maybe didn't think it was warranted for Joe Biden to be indicted or pushed with criminal charges. Jack Smith, however, has been proven to like Joe Biden and hate Donald Trump, and he is doing everything under his power to put Donald Trump in jail. That's just the plain facts. Continuing, one of the reasons why Joe Biden was not criminally charged because of his memory. This is what there was in the report. Mr. Biden's memory was significantly limited both during his recording interviews with a ghostwriter in 2017 and in his interview with our office in 2023. The report said in exclusive summary, we have also considered that a trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury as he did during our interview of him as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with poor memory. That's one of the reasons why they didn't criminally charge him, because they said in a trial, he will present himself as this, and that he's a man that don't have the greatest memory. Now look, this right here, I think this is the blow that's gonna end Joe Biden. Because I've got text messages from people that ask me the same thing. Wait a minute, he's capable of being president of the United States, but he's not capable of going to trial because he might not remember stuff. And look, like I said, this is one of the problems I have with this report. Well, with Mr. Biden, the report says, hey, we can't criminally charge him because he's not going to remember, and we don't know if he's going to stand up to a trial. But you think he's going to stand up to talks with King Jinping or Putin or people that of national security? Do you think that he will remember the codes to the warheads if we needed it? He's capable of being president, but he's not capable of going to trial? Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Let that sink in. Biden cannot go to trial because his memory is a little on the fence, but he can be president of the United States of America, and he can make decisions based on things of national security. According to Fox News, and look, let's briefly talk about his memory. According to Special Counsel Hur's report on the president's handling of classified documents, Biden could not remember any key details, such as when he was vice president during interviews with the investigators. Hur has begun. Let me find where it says. The report also contains. All right, in his interview with our office, Mr. Biden's memory was worse than reported states. He did not remember when he was vice president, forgetting on the first day of the interview when his term ended. If it was 2013, when did I stop becoming vice president? That's from the current president of the United States. And forgetting on the second day of the interview when his term began. In 2009, am I still vice president? Was he saying this as a joke? If he was, it's a bad one. But if he was genuine, when did I start? Am I still vice president? If you don't know if you're the president of the United States, you need to step down. This is elder abuse. I don't know if his wife is telling him to continue, but Joe Biden should resign today. He did not remember within several years when his son Bo died, the report continued. And his memory appeared hazy when describing the Afghanistan debate that was once so important to him. This was all recent years. Now, going to the Bo incident, Biden did bring this up in this press conference that it was wrong that this special counsel brought up his son Bo. It was wrong because how can I forget about my son dying? We're not talking about you forgetting your son dying. We're talking about the dates. And look, it's understandable on this point. People make mistakes. They forget some things. I was watching a Democrat congressman from New York on ABC last night trying to compare Mike Johnson to Joe Biden. Mike Johnson forgot some things. Look, I misspeak on this podcast. I misspeak when I preach. But it's not on a regular basis. Joe Biden, however, does this on a regular basis. He forgets. He don't know where he's at. He forgets what side of the stage. He falls up a flight of stairs. Joe Biden is not capable of being president of the United States. And this report shows it. But Joe Biden, I wear beads to remind me of my son. Okay, your son died. We understand that. When did he die? That was and also for President Biden to come out in his speech and say, oh, that was wrong for him to put into the report. That's part of the report. So do you want an investigator to leave out key information? No, Biden thought, hey, he's going to put information that's going to make me look good, say I'm innocent. But this report, I think it's 300 some pages, had to show everything that Robert Hur did. But Joe Biden, Now, Joe Biden had a response to this. But Donald Trump did as well. Donald Trump said, look, if they're going to do this to Joe Biden, they need to drop out my case. The DOJ needs to stop it. They need to just throw out my case. Now, they're trying to show the differences. Well, Donald Trump didn't cooperate, which has been proven he did. But the media is still throwing that lie out there that he didn't. But Joe Biden did give a rare, unexpected press conference from the Daily Caller Thursday night, which he blamed his staff for mishandling classified documents and snapped at reporters' questions. Yes, he went ahead and he read quotes from it saying, this is not true. This is not true. And he read some parts where Robert Hur did say, look, Joe Biden's this and this. We don't feel he's criminal charged and all this stuff. And but the reports, the things I just read to you are in the report. And when pressed about it, especially from Peter Dorsey from Fox News, Joe Biden snapped. Joe Biden said, my memory isn't that much good. I let you speak. It's basically saying, if I could, I would shut you up, but I can't. Snapped at reporters when asked about his son. I just brought this out. How dare this reporter? It is wrong. Went ahead and missed, and this is another thing. He was leaving the podium. Oh, well, let me bring up this one. Biden reached his most heated when another reporter began to ask a question about the American people's concern about his mental state. I presume, which is backed by vast amounts of polling. Joe Biden's quote, that's your judgment. That is your judgment. That is not the judgment of the press. Biden shouted back at her. Then he mistakenly referred to Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi as the president of Mexico. So he's telling people, hey, I'm fine, because he said that my memory's fine, and people shouldn't be concerned. That's your judgment, reporter, not the press, which polling shows, hey, they're concerned about even Democrats. And right after, reference the Egyptian president as the president of Mexico. I'm fine, guys. By the way, I talked to the president of Mexico, Sisi, and Mr. President, that's the president of Egypt. Oh, yeah. Now, it was funny how I was watching the mainstream media, and the mainstream media was trying to say, well, he fixed it later on in the speech. He did not correct himself right then and there. Overall, and look, I went into the detail. I went into President Joe Biden. First off, let's start right here before I say that. The comparison of a two-tiered justice system is evident in this case right here. I'm going to be a little longer on this episode because this needs to be said. The evidence of a two-tiered justice system is in this report. And then again, like I said, the argument could be, hey, this is a Republican investigator. And if this Republican investigator said, look, I don't like Joe Biden. This is what I found in Joe Biden, but according to the law, I don't see no warrant for a criminal charge. That is possible. But it's possible that, but it's also possible that this man said, look, this is the sitting president. He could be part of the swamp and say, look, I found this, and this. Look, this happened in the Mueller report. Okay, Robert Mueller, when he investigated Donald Trump's Spygate, he went ahead and said, look, I don't warrant Donald Trump. Donald Trump had no contact with Russia, but there was Russia interference, and Donald Trump didn't do nothing wrong, but we feel Donald Trump did this, and this. He pointed out the areas where Donald Trump he thought could hurt Donald Trump. So like I said, it could have been the vice versa, where it's the Republican. That is a good point, but at the same time, this shows a two-tiered justice system. Why? Because look, Robert Hur didn't have the money that Jack Smith had. He didn't have the scope that Jack Smith had. You know, Merrick Garland oversaw this thing too. Everybody got to look at that. Merrick Garland could have read the report and said, I don't think we should prosecute it. There's a lot of possibilities. But I feel this shows a two-tiered justice system. Why did Joe Biden did everything the same as Donald Trump did? It's been proven. Remember, this is the same man. And look, this is why I say I believe Joe Biden's lying, because Joe Biden, and he might not remember, but Joe Biden went on the stage after this. It is inappropriate for a former president to have secret documents while they were still sitting in his garage and in his 2 offices at universities. Why isn't that a criminal case? Let's go with another conclusion that, like I said, this is probably the biggest one out of this report, that Joe Biden needs to go. Joe Biden needs to leave the White House. He needs to retire. He needs to give his walking papers. He does not need to run in 2024. And I am speaking as a concerned citizen, not because I don't like Biden. I don't like his policies. I don't think if he runs, the American people need to decide they want them policies. But Joe Biden, this is elder abuse, in my opinion. Joe Biden cannot be the president of the United States. Look, if they would vote the 25th Amendment to remove him from office, I would agree with it. I don't agree a lot with Kamala Harris, but his cabinet staff, Mayorkas, Vice President Kamala Harris, the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, all these people need to get together in a room and say, look, we need to invoke the 25th Amendment. This report show, and look, I'm not the only person that's saying, Democrats are saying this. The guy running, Congressman Press, I think his name is, he's saying, look, this proves that Joe Biden should not be the president of the United States. None, he should not be. Because if this report is correct and he's having memory loss where he can't remember key details, he needs to go and retire. He needs to leave. I'm going to say this too of the Democrat congressman that's running against Joe Biden. The Republicans are talking about impeaching him. This is an impeachable offense. He can't remember. I say impeachable offense. It's not really an offense. They're working on impeachment right now. Hey, vote for the impeachment. If you think he's incapable of being president, impeach him. Get him out of there. Our country is in danger because this man cannot remember certain key details. But you have Democrats like the Democrat congressman I seen last night trying to just push back the misspoken words or the mental problems Joe Biden has. Is, oh, we just all forget. I've done it before, he said last night. I can't remember the congressman's name. I know he's from the great state of New York. And trying to compare Mike Johnson. Well, Mike Johnson has mental issues. He misspoke on a name the other day. Mike Johnson does not do it all the time. And like and look, I was shocked. They were asking the question on ABC Live with Tubi. I was watching Tubi. They said, well, look, hold on. Mike Johnson ain't running for president. This man is. Joe Biden is 81 years old, ladies and gentlemen. This man does not need to be president of the United States. Now, you can ask the question. I've said this. Look, if you go on age, Donald Trump shouldn't be running either. He's going to be 80-some years old or close to 80-some years old as he finishes his term. But if you look both of them side by side, Joe Biden is not mentally fit. Donald Trump is mentally fit. I will say that he's still sharp as a tack, in my opinion. I'm just saying this report does not look good for President Joe Biden. And this defense of, well, he's old, but we all forget. No, there's a difference with misspeaking or forgetting something every so often. And every time you listen to him speak, even the speech, going back to that, even the speech that he gave in New Hampshire, I think it was, or it was a speech where the New Hampshire primary was going on, and the media was like, this was the strongest speech President Joe Biden has ever done. And I go back and watch it, and he's mumbling through the whole thing and can't remember certain things. How you call that a strong speech? That's the media trying to propaganda people of the United States. They're trying to put Joe Biden in a light, but I think the damage is done, especially this report. And it didn't help it didn't help Joe Biden last night bringing in a last-minute news conference, reading a pre-scripted response, which is fine. You can do that, put your speech together, and then then go off the rails of your speech and snap at reporters that are just doing their job and asking incredible questions. And then messing up on a president of another country. It does not look good for the Biden administration. And look, the only thing that probably would have made this worse is if they would have done this right before the election, right before voting started, will people remember this going forward? They could if the Republicans do their job. If the Republicans do their job and point this out, as we know they're not doing their job. This is very, very damning information to the Biden administration. And the Republicans need to score on this. The Republicans need to go ahead and say, listen, this president who y'all want to vote in can't protect us with the border. He can't protect us with migrants inside. He can't protect us at all, and you'll want him to be president, but he can't remember if he signed an executive order or not. The Republicans need to use this. The Republicans need to. What my fear is, you're going to have some Republicans that are never Trumpers and part of the establishment push this on the side and not use this. And then we're in worse shape than we ever been before, because they'd rather have a bumbling old man that can put our country in risk than a man that can protect us and keep us safe. That's the establishment Republicans. And those established Republicans are going to do everything in their power. They are never Trumpers, and they will never be Trumpers. They are going to do everything in their power to stop Donald Trump. And the Democrats are doing it as well. But you, the American people, have a voice in 2024. Only 10 short months left. And we need to get ready to go to the polls and overwhelmingly vote for Donald Trump. I'm not calling it a red wave. We need to do something. This country is going to hell in a handbasket, and we need to do something. And this report shows we need to do something as American citizens. With that being said, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. I hope you have a good one. Be blessed. Be encouraged. Remember that Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back, and he's coming back soon, so don't be faint of heart. Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, reach out to us. We will tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and heaven your home. Until next time, be blessed. Be encouraged. You have a good one.